Have you been wondering if LinkedIn is a match for you as a handmade artisan? Today I'm going to be going through just a few fundamentals about LinkedIn as a platform that might really help you to understand whether or not it's the right match for you, because I think with so many options with social media, it's really important that we're channeling our time and working out where we're going to get the greatest return. My name's Lena and I'm the very proud owner of Madeit.com.au, where we've got almost 1,000 Australian artisans selling through the platform. Think ceramics, jewelry, crochet, knitted items, everything that you can imagine under the sun. So my real passion is about helping creatives to actually really build and grow their business online. I think that there's so much opportunity in the online space, and I still think that there is huge value as well in making sure that you're getting those in-person connection points. But we want to have the social media and the social presence of online to really support everything that we're doing alongside in person. So let's jump into LinkedIn. I think first and foremost, you need to really think about what your network is. If you've worked in a corporate background and you're okay with being really open about your creative aspects and what you're doing on the sideline as well, then it could be a really interesting platform. And when I say if you're okay, I don't mean that there's anything wrong with it, but I know often we have these, double lives where it's kind of like, oh no, that's my corporate hat over there, and I need them to know that I'm really committed to what I'm doing over there, and keeping your creative side quite separate. So that's the first thing that you've got to really consider, because if you're not from a corporate background and you're not really connected into that space, I think that you'd find it really hard to actually even get the traction with getting the connections there. In our Handmade huddle that we have over on Instagram, it's a live I do each day, Monday to Friday. One of the artisans, Liz from LEJ Art, asked today about whether or not there would be of benefit for looking for, those wholesale connections. So getting into stores, but going through LinkedIn. And honestly, as a handmade artisan, the types of stores that you'd have the most benefit from and the most connection with and actually be able to sell into their stores, I really don't think that they're playing over on LinkedIn. The bulk of their time, I would imagine, would be on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, where they're actually trying to engage with their customers and draw that customer into their store. Whereas LinkedIn, for me, is really more about the business strategy. So I dabble across multiple platforms so that I can share it with you as well about what I find's working, what's not, and really taking that into consideration as well. Real quick, I just wanted to jump in and let you know about the masterclasses that we have on offer at Madeit. So all of the masterclasses have been developed by me. So if you love this content, they may be a match for you. But they've also been really specifically designed and created for handmade artisans, which means that all of the information is super relevant. Now, these are a great affordable price as well. The majority of them are at $49. But I also have over there as well a mini audit option, a website audit option, and a one-on-one session with me. So jump on over, check out the masterclasses, and if you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out. For me with LinkedIn, it's really much more of the thought leadership. So when we launched Handmade Not Mass Made as a movement, it was over on LinkedIn that I was really wanting to get that positioning to be very clear about who we are as a platform. And because I've got an extensive network over on LinkedIn, it means that I can really leverage that audience to get out these kind of bigger thought ideas into the space as well. As far as connecting with handmade artisans on LinkedIn, it's not really even what I'm trying to achieve over there. So I think first and foremost, whenever you're thinking about dabbling with any platform, doesn't matter whether it's LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or Pinterest or whatever it is kind of really just sitting at that first stage and going, what is it that I'm trying to get out of this platform, and what is the energetic exchange that I'm going to be able to make with the platform, and is it the right space for me to be able to do that? Now, often we don't know these platforms, right? So same if we're talking about Pinterest, right? We really don't understand and know the platform until we get to play in there a bit. So here's a couple of things that I would recommend to everyone, right? There is absolutely no harm in you having a LinkedIn profile anyway, right? You're going to have your profile picture, you're going to have your header photo as well, you're going to have a bit of a description and a link to your store as well, to your handmade artisan goods, or if you're keeping that as more of a corporate job space, then leave it as that. But just by having it there, that's A, making sure that you do have that presence there, even if it's only your name and a contact format there. But also as well, it just means that it may come up in search. So if someone happens to be searching for you specifically, right, that will be another avenue in which it comes up. So that can be really good if you don't yet have a website and you're really making Madeit, I hope, your primary home, then it may come up in search in LinkedIn if you've got it with your name and your brand name and everything in there as well. So that's just a great place to start. But then you can start to read through and get a feel for whether or not even the space makes sense for you. One of the things that I find is that when we go with the natural feed that we're delivered on any given platform, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Before you've started to connect and before you've started to create relationships and create a community on that particular platform, the information that will pop up in your feed is generally quite random because the feed's trying to work out, well, who are you? What are you looking for? And of course, it does have that data on us. Anyway, because we're searching on other platforms, that you may find a few things come up. But for me, what I've found with LinkedIn in particular is that with my previous company, my fashion company, I was really on LinkedIn more from a marketing aspect and connecting in with experts in the field, but also really finding out about new apps and, more digital suppliers that I was finding out about. So now that I'm living wholly in the space of Handmade, I find that a lot of the connections that I do have over on LinkedIn now no longer make sense, right? I'm looking at these like real A-type, almost that bro marketing area, and it's quite intense. And it's a lot of, oh, I did this and I did that and da-da-da. But the more that I start to ease back into LinkedIn with a different hat, with a different energy, I'm actually finding that I'm connecting with really phenomenal business owners, people that are making big changes in the space of sustainability, but also diversity and all of these conversations that I want to be a part of. So I have by no means mastered LinkedIn. And funnily enough, I spoke to a friend the other day, and she's a property developer and working on the most incredible luxury properties over in Greece at the moment. And she is wanting to connect with investors and people who are wanting to look at actually developing over there as well. So quite a specific niche audience, right? And when she first started on LinkedIn, she's like, oh, I'm not getting traction. And she said to me that I'd actually said this to her, even though I don't remember it, but I'd said, you've got to respect the platform. I was like, you're jumping on, you're having conversations, you're dropping in without really giving the platform the respect it deserves. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds like me. But she has just absolutely transformed what she's doing because in this moment, she's actually taken the time to build the connections to make sure that her profile page is actually really built out and that she's starting to understand the rhythm and the pace and the flow of LinkedIn. And for her, it's actually working out really, really well. Now, you know how we were saying that on the huddle, one of the artisans, Liz, asked me this morning. Well, Imelda also asked me about a week ago when we were talking about LinkedIn, about whether or not it would be a great opportunity to connect with corporates who might be looking for artwork to have in their space, like that sort of stuff. And it's a really interesting one and tricky one to answer that because I think it still depends on your network. Like if you're showing up on LinkedIn and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna publish this article and I'm just gonna share images of my product. And look, honestly, this goes for any platform, right? You're not going to get the results. It's about taking the time to nurture relationships and connections and to not just go straight away, oh, hey, this is what I do. Here's my product. You should buy it. It'll be amazing. It'll be so suited to you. It's like, well, you don't even know me, right? So why are you pushing this product in my face? So I think with LinkedIn, it's really a platform that's going to work well for you as a handmade artisan. If you have a network on there that you can connect with, right? And maybe you might have worked, or maybe you're still working in a corporate role or a marketing role or whatever it might be, but you're also being really open about what you're creating and the journey that you're going on as an artisan, then I think that's really interesting. then I think that that's got scope. And not only for you for reach as an artisan, but more than that, your journey as an artisan, right? About who you become. Because when you chose this business idea, right, knowingly or unknowingly, you chose this vehicle of business to be your journey into personal development, because everything that we're doing, learning how to show up, learning how to find our voice, it all leads back into who am I becoming, right? So summarize, LinkedIn. Is it the platform I would choose as an artisan? Only if you're open with what you're doing and you've got a really great network who's potentially quite professional or corporate that you can really leverage to actually gain some traction. Would it be the first platform that I would go to? Unlikely. Unlikely. I think there's other areas where you could spend your time to actually gain a lot more traction. But if you're on LinkedIn, please come over and connect with me as well, Lena Broughton, but also Madeit has a company page as well that you can follow. But tell me how you've gone with with LinkedIn in the past as well. Pop it down in the comments, and I'd love to see whether you've had any success or what you've found has worked for you, because the more that you share your ideas, the more that I also get to share off that information as well. So thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you really soon on this channel right here. I'm still working on my new little positioning for YouTube. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.